Congratulations on finishing our first benchmark test. Thank you for your help as we are all learning this new testing style. This video will teach you how to view your students' results and how to utilize the information the test gives you. We tested 2nd through 4th grade in math and reading by paper and pencil test, and then tested 5th through 8th grade in math only online. The benchmark test is different than the standard Scantron test. The benchmark is a stagnant 30 to 35 questions based only on the fall standards. Every student received the same questions. We're going to start by going to the edperformance.com website. Remember, our site ID is 41-3274-2189. Type in your staff ID, and for this exercise, this video, I'm going to pretend like I am Mrs. Heller. I'm going to type in the password, and then our first step is to click onto Classroom. Normally, we would go to Performance Diagnostic. However, this time for the benchmark test, we're going to go to the District Gradebook. Here you will see the two tests that 4th grade has taken. Now, 2nd through 4th grade will have both reading and math, and 5th through 8th grade will only have a math test. 8th grade will have math or they'll have the algebra test. Everything is a clickable link. If you click on the child's name or their score, then you'll get to that individual student and more details about their performance. Right now, though, I'm just going to show us the class as a whole, and I'm going to click onto the class average for math. The first tab is test scores. And this is the class overview. Here we can quickly skim and see the student results, and you can also organize these by score. So up here at the corner, sort by, we can sort it by score. This might help better if you're doing grouping. This is a quick way to organize. What I think is also important is scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see this other little chart. The district average is the average of all of the ADW schools that took this benchmark test. So you can see how you compared to other schools that took this benchmark test. Remember, this is the first time anybody's taken this test. The second tab is the standards tab. This is helpful to see what standards your students need more help on and what standards students have advanced knowledge on. And as you can clearly see, 4.7.1 seemed to be a hard standard for some of these children. If you scroll down, you can see what the standard actually was right here. Don't forget, remember this book is the resources that'll take us to create test, quizzes, and study guides. We can also switch to table, and this just helps us to give us more details and break it down even further. And everything that's underlined is a clickable link. Also, something to note, whenever you see the export CSV, this means you can export it to Excel, so you could save it easily in Excel in case you want to save things for the future. The third tab, let me switch it back. The third tab is item analysis. And this tab allows you to see by question number how the students did. Now remember, every student took the exact same test. So as you can see here, item number 9 seemed to cause trouble. Switching to the table view up at the top allows us to see more details and see the standard that question number 9 was. If we scroll down to number 9, look at that, it happens to be that same standard, 4.7.1. So that's why it gave them a lot of trouble, that one question did. We can switch it back to the graph. And we can further look. Everything else seems to be okay. Now remember, the pink shaded means that they have basic knowledge. This is where you may want to, before we go on further, you may want to also have open a second tab. That's the ADW Teacher website. So I'm going to click onto this. The website is sites.google.com/site/ADW-teacher/. On this website, we're going to click onto the benchmark resource guides. For this exercise, I'm going to math, and now I'm going to grade 4. The item map, it opens up, I believe it opens up as a PDF. The item map is what the students were tested on this benchmark test. You should have been following this item map in order for the students to succeed on the test. And I will let you know as soon as we get an item map for the spring benchmark test. I'll let you guys know as soon as that happens. I'll send out an email. Right now, there is no item map for the spring benchmark. However, we are going to have a test in late January for the Scantron test, so you may want to go back over the ones that the students had trouble on. Now, going on back, the misconceptions guide is the second option for each grade. This is where if a student had an incorrect answer, this explains why they might have answered wrong. Also, if you look at these, you can also kind of guess on what the question was. This is helpful for when we go back to the item analysis and the responses. So I'm going to click onto the last tab now, the responses. Under the responses tab, it's helpful to look for patterns. If a lot of students chose one wrong answer, why did they think that was the right answer? For example, it looks like a lot of children chose B for question 6. So I'm going to go back to the misconceptions guide and go to number 6. It says that the student chose B because they do not understand place value to the 100,000s place when reading numerals. So now I know as a teacher, I need to go back over that in order to help the students. If you're on this page and you see a line in one of the red boxes, this means that the student skipped the question. It could be because they did not know the answer, or it could be because they ran out of time, but it just means that the student skipped the question. Lastly, student reports. I'm going to go back to the first tab, the test scores. Now, we're not requiring you to print any student reports to be sent home, but you might want to look at this for your own self, and you might want to just save them onto your computer if that's easier for you. It opens up in a PDF. I'm going to walk you guys through creating one student report. There are many options you can have on the student report. You may want to choose all of them at first just so you can see all of the data. And I'm going to choose, you can choose as many children as you want. So you can choose your whole class, or you can choose maybe just the lower percentile of students. So I'm going to choose the first child, click next. Now here, you're just going to click on to view PDF, and you're going to click on this little box to get the PDF. The PDF will load. And now here is the student report for this student. It breaks everything down, how many got incorrect, how many were correct. And now it tells you what the score was for each standard in each question. So it puts it in order in terms of the score percentage is how it orders it. So everything at first for this child seems to be 100%. Then as we go down, here's where the child struggled. So the child got 5 questions right out of 7 questions for this standard. Down here, the child got 0 questions right out of 1 question for this standard. Now here's that standard that seemed to be trouble, 4.7.1. Something you may want to note as the teacher is that there was only 1 question on this standard. So that seems interesting to me, that maybe that's why the student got it wrong if there's only one question on it. So that's something to take note on. And then down here is just how the student answered. For question number 1, and it broke it up into all the questions and what they answered and what the correct answer was, which may or may not be helpful for you. I hope you found this video helpful. Feel free to watch as many times as you need to, as there is a lot of data from these tests. The students will take another online Scantron test in late January. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this.